Welcome back to the Fulfilled Female Entrepreneur Podcast. My name is Cassandra Rosa. I'm your host, and I'm also an intuitive life and business coach. The mission of this podcast is to help you to create a fulfilling life and business. Today, I'm really excited to have fitness coach Samantha Jones. She is going to be talking about how to create consistency with your fitness routine. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm so excited to be joined by my friend, and she's actually my fitness coach, Samantha, today. I'm excited to introduce her. She helps busy, ambitious women crush their fitness goals, find balance, and feel fiercely confident. She has this amazing fitness coaching business called Arise and Thrive. And she's going to be talking today about creating consistency in your fitness routine and how that really helps you to create consistency when creating your business. So thank you so much for Sam for coming on the podcast. I'm so excited to have you share all your wisdom with all the audience today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So I've been working with her for a couple years. And I actually had another podcast called Clarity Conversations, and she shared so much amazing wisdom there. And I couldn't wait to have her back for another episode. But this podcast is called Fulfilled Femme Entrepreneur, and it's all about creating fulfilling lives and businesses. So what would you say fulfillment means to you?
I would say for me, fulfillment is about enjoying the process, right? Enjoying each and every day within your life, not just the destination, like not just, trying to get through the motions to get to the next thing, and being able to have that balance in your life that you actually appreciate the inner workings in and out of your daily life.
I love that. I love that. That presence is really, really important because as entrepreneurs, we can get really caught up in once we achieve XYZ, then we're going to feel
Yes,
fulfilled. So I love that you say that.
exactly. Always achievement oriented, right? So got to get to the achievement instead of enjoying the steps to get to the achievement.
Of course. And what do you think is the most fulfilling part of your business as a fitness coach?
For me, I would say that being able to be part of such a transformative journey for so many women, right? Most people start a fitness journey initially because of the physical goal. So it might be losing weight, it might be building muscle, but it goes so far and so much deeper beyond that, right? It can actually change somebody's complete quality of life. So being able to help someone feel confident, maybe like in themselves so they can be confident in their career, or maybe so that they can feel confident on their wedding day, or improve their health so maybe they can get pregnant after trying for months or go off of medication, right? Those are the things that are really fulfilling for me because you get that emotional reward of seeing how it's changed someone's life.
Yeah, I can relate to that 100% as a coach, intuitive life coach, and business coach. Is like that transformation and seeing the metamorphosis of someone from where they started to where they are towards the
Yeah.
end of working with you is just so amazing. And do you want to talk a little bit about your journey of how you got into the fitness industry and helping all these women become confident?
Yeah, of course. So for me, it all started with my own personal transformation. So about 7 years ago, after some pretty challenging times in my own life where I was probably, the lowest from a self-confidence standpoint and from a health standpoint, wasn't taking care of myself at all, focusing on all of, we'll say, the wrong things. I got a job at a gym just while I was trying to figure some things out and kind of start fresh. And that's when I decided to start working with a personal trainer myself. And working with this trainer really helped me be able to channel my energy into something positive, really seeing myself accomplish things, right, which started to breed more self confidence. And he really gave me the guidance and the expertise I needed to make those changes in my life. So this was like an amazing experience for me, and where I started to actually take my own job at the gym seriously and become a personal trainer myself. And from there, it blossomed into me investing into myself, both time and education, right, financially, to be able to expand my education, my expertise, and to be able to help women in more facets of health and wellness, and eventually start my own online coaching business where now I get to help women in a more well-rounded approach and the way I see fit, right? And the way that I want to do it. So that has been amazing. And that kind of got started when the pandemic started and everybody kind of pivoted online.
Yeah, totally. And I was a client of yours during that pivot, and it's been amazing to see how you have all your expertise in all areas of fitness and health and nutrition, and how you package that all together to help people achieve massive results. And I know like the consistency that I have built in working with you has been so transformative for me and has only helped me more in my life and my business too, which is so, so powerful. And that's why we're kind of talking about that today, about achieving consistency in fitness, which can be a big obstacle for people with all the yo-yo
Yeah.
dieting and all the
Oh
different
yeah.
options available for the fitness industry out there. So do you want to talk about what the importance is of creating consistency with fitness?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, we have this kind of sensory overload out there on, if you're on social media a lot, which a lot of us as entrepreneurs are, right, to market our businesses, you're constantly bombarded by what everyone else is doing, right? And it almost gives you a sense of paralyzation of like, I don't even know where to start. Do I do what I saw this person doing, what I saw that person doing? And it can be really challenging and almost prevent you from starting at all because you just don't know what to take for that first step, right? But I think that it's really important for women to be incorporating this into their life because it's going to bring um, a sense of harmony to your life, right? A lot of the times when we start a business, that business kind of becomes her baby. And naturally, we want to see it grow, right? And thrive and be successful. And that's amazing, but it can kind of snowball into taking over our life, right? Where there's days where you end up sitting at the computer from when you wake up till when you go to sleep and you blink and you haven't eaten, you haven't gone for a walk, you haven't drank any water, right? And so many of those days in a row that add up is going to create, well, there's the positive effect on, what you're getting done with your business. You as the owner of your business are not being taken care of, right? And this is also going to snowball into negative impacts on other areas of our business, like, or other areas of our life, like your health mentally and physically, right? You're not going to be able to have the clarity to show up with confidence and feel good in your business mentally when you're not taking care of yourself, right? You're not fueling your body properly. Same with physically. If you're not moving your body, right, you're going to feel tight, you're going to feel uncomfortable, you're going to have pain, you're going to gain weight, which is going to put a lot of pressure on your joints, your all of that stuff, right? And then also your relationships, right? When you're putting so much energy into your business, you're probably lacking that energy going into your personal relationships, whether it be with your partner, your friends, your family. If your confidence is lacking because you're not taking care of yourself, that can impact those things as well, right? So by starting to impact your focus on your well-being, you're bringing that element of balance into your life. And I think that people often have this misconception that balance means that everything has to be equal across the board, right? Everything needs to have an equal amount of time, and that's what balance is. But that's not necessarily true, right? Balance is like things being in harmony for you or feeling like you're in alignment. So it's okay to have something that's taking a little bit more energy, right? As long as the other things aren't completely running dry, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And I think that that phrase of like, fill up your cup before you fill up other cups, right? People are like, oh, yeah, 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 like I know what that means. But I think it's a really great analogy because when your cup is full, now you can pour into those other areas, right? And show up bigger and better for your business because you have that, we'll say that kind of motivation and that energy and everything supporting you. Whereas if your cup is dry, that's kind of like the fast track to burnout, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I can relate to this because this is why I ended up working with you in the very beginning. Because in my business, I went from having a 9 to 5 on my feet all the time to being in front of the computer all the time and being go, 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 not eating, not getting my steps in, and not having fitness be such a priority. Because back then when I was in my 9 to 5, like I was fit just from living life, never mind. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that that
Yeah.
could be a big shift for people that go from that lifestyle to shifting it and then building consistency with your business, especially when it's new. All your energy and focus goes there, and then your health can go to the wayside. You can put on the extra weight,
Yeah.
your energy can go much lower. And that's what happened with me. And I think once I was able to make my fitness at the forefront and make that my health a priority, then I had much more energy and was in harmony and alignment. I love those keywords that you use. So I was able to serve people more in my business too, which is huge.
Yeah. And I think too, like you said, right? You don't really realize the positive impacts that putting some like a fraction of that time and energy, taking it away from your business and putting it into yourself can have. Because people, when they think of a fitness journey, they think of the aesthetic side of it, right? Like the physical goal that they want to achieve, which is obviously important, right? That's going to play into our self-confidence and stuff like that a little bit. But there's so many other benefits like increased energy, increased focus, better sleep, lower stress, getting sick less, right? If your immune system is functioning better because you're actually taking care of yourself, that means on the grand scheme of things, you don't need to take as much time off, right? Increase mental body and mind confidence, right? Like when you have increased confidence, not only are you going to like feel better in those social settings or in your relationships, but now you're going to feel better on camera when you're taking your content that you need for your marketing and your maybe your photos shoots that you're doing for your branding. You're going to make more sales because you're more confident on your sales calls, right? So it just like the list could go on forever, right? So it goes so much deeper than just like, oh, lose 10 pounds so I look nice in a dress.
100%. And the time that they're going to be listening to this, it's going to be like the third week of January. So everybody probably set those New Year's
New year, new
resolutions. New
me.
year, new me. I'm going to lose 20 pounds, whatever that could be.
Oh,
And I found too, I work out from home now, but when I used to go to the gym, and I'm sure you can say this, the first couple of weeks, there's like everybody there. You can
oh
barely get
yeah.
to the machine,
It's a zoo.
no spot in the mirror. And then boom, at this time, it kind of starts to go down, right? That motivation that might dip, that consistency is already going down. So what like practical tips would you give all the listeners, all the entrepreneurs out there, to help build that motivation and that consistency that is so essential to achieving your fitness goals?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that I can kind of break this down into two main areas. So I'll go into that first and then talk about some actual like takeaway tips. But the first is that it comes down to one, practicality, and two, organization. So as an entrepreneur, right, you're probably already like crazy busy, a lot on your plate, things going on, right? So the most common excuse I hear, especially from people who run their own businesses, is I do not have time. And it's not necessarily that that's the reality, right? The reality is that we lack the time management to be able to balance all of these things enough to create the time, right? We create the time for the things that are important to us. So the more that you remain organized with both your business tasks, your personal tasks, whatever you have on the go, right? Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your relationship, maybe it's family members, and then also your health journey, the more you're going to thrive in all of those areas, right? Whereas if we lack that kind of organization and structure, everything is going to be a hot mess. The second problem I see that usually arises is because entrepreneurs tend to be go-getters, right? We have this go-getter attitude where we want to achieve success. We want it now. We want success right go. Like as soon as we do something, we get discouraged if it's like not happening, right? Which is obviously a good thing that we have that drive there, but we tend to start over ambitiously and like just right out the gate want things to be 110%. So like, oh, I'm not working out at all right now. January 1st, I'm going to work out 6 days a week. I'm going to lose those 10 pounds by going to the gym 6 days a week. I'm going to eat salads all day, every day, right? So that's not the most practical, especially, if you're somebody who isn't making this a priority in your life right now. So starting small, people often think that like making small habitual changes in your lifestyle, just starting with the basics, it's not enough to see the change that they want, but they need to accept that it's a journey, right? And like we talked about fulfillment in the beginning, is that it's all about enjoying the process to get you to the destination, not just doing things as quick and easy as possible to get to that destination, right? Like a quick fix is never going to be the right answer. So bridging the gap from where you are to where you want to go is going to be a better method than to just go 110% out the gate. So if I had to kind of break these down into some steps, right? Like some specific tips and takeaways, I would say number one is have systems and use a calendar and set reminders for things until it becomes a habit. Just like in your business, as you're building out your systems of, what your standard operating processes are going to be like and how you service clients or how you have how you handle your products or whatever your business is, you don't just like do that on the fly, right? And be like, do I feel like doing a sales call today? Do I feel like posting on Instagram today? Do I feel like going to the gym today, right? You need to have systems and structure in your routine to set yourself up for success to make sure that it becomes a consistent habit. And something as simple as like a calendar reminder to remind you to like eat your lunch. It sounds so silly and the most basic thing ever, but sometimes we genuinely need that, right? If you're eyeballs deep working on a sales page or whatever it might be, and then 3 hours passes and you haven't eaten since 8 a.m. in the morning, you might need that reminder, right? And that's totally okay.
Yeah,
And then
I
my
can
second,
speak to that because you told me that tip and I'm like, okay, Sam, like, but like
yeah,
blocking off, hey, at this time I'm eating lunch, nobody can book with me.
exactly.
It's so simple, but so impactful because you have that space. And
Mhm.
like if you're not putting yourself at the back burner, you're putting yourself at the forefront to achieve that
100%.
consistency.
And
Mhm.
we create all this space for our clients, right? Especially people who are, if you're listening to this and you are a client service business, right? Like a client facing
Mhm.
business, we create all this space for our clients, but we don't create space for ourselves, right? And how can you expect your clients to be putting themselves first and to be doing all of these things, whether, you're a business coach, you're a fitness coach, you're whatever you're doing, right? Maybe you're a service provider. But if you're not creating the space to take care of yourself, right? Like, how can you expect anybody else to be doing the things that are going to set them ahead too, right? Like, you kind of have to practice what you preach. And I think that, like you said, creating that space allows you to have those non-negotiables, which is what my second tip is having non-negotiables, right? Something as simple as like, my non-negotiable for myself is to get X amount of steps today, drink X amount of water, have X amount of meals, right? Something as simple as, like you said, like eating 3 meals a day. A lot of entrepreneurs do not do that. So,
Mhm.
just starting with the small things like that and having them as non-negotiables will definitely help create that consistency of routine, right? And that's what's going to make it the longevity of the success.
Yeah, I love that.
And then I also think that it's really important for you to set goals and connect with your why, because just like your entrepreneurial journey, right? Like, you set monthly targets, you set goals for your business. So why wouldn't you set goals for yourself when you're trying to achieve something in your health and your fitness journey as well? Whether it's a goal as simple as I'm going to start by exercising 3 times a week this week, and a more micro goal, or a more macro goal of I want to lose X amount of weight, this is going to give you something to strive towards, right? And then when you keep reconnecting with those goals and that why, that's going to keep you going when that motivation is coming down a little bit, right? And we need to kind of pick that back up.
I love it. So practical. And I think the reminders of those simple things is what we need more than ever to achieve it. Because the
Yes.
more that you keep it more simple, the easier it'll be to implement into your routine. Because
Yeah.
you said earlier about we're go-getters. Sometimes we go from 0 to 6, and then we don't achieve 6. So then we're hard on ourselves, and then we regress down to
All the
the.
way back to zero.
And I know from working with you, even starting with, okay, I'm going to drink, you know, even if it was a liter and a half of water, a liter of water a day, like starting small and like scaling was huge. Even working out 2 days a week consistently and then scaling.
Yeah.
And because of that, like now it's like 5 times a week I'm working out and it's just in my routine. Like it's seamless.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that that's like the biggest thing is that instead of doing what is going to be successful for us, and like I said, bridging that gap of like where you are currently and taking those baby steps to where you want to be, people just kind of jump to the expectation of what they think they should be at, right? Or what other people are doing. And then that's why it doesn't stick, is because they haven't built those foundational habits, right? And I often say to people, right, like this whole idea of motivation, right? Like you said, they'll go hard right out the gate. It doesn't happen. They lose the motivation and then they fall off. But I'll often say to people, like, do you think you were motivated to brush your teeth when you were a kid? Or did your parents tell you that you had to? And because you did it so consistently every day for so long, even when you didn't want to, even when you just wanted, to go to bed without doing it, now it's stuck with you as an adult. And now if you don't brush your teeth before bed, like you're like, oh, this is bad, I need to do this, right? So like you have to do things hundreds and hundreds of times over and over. It's repetitions, right? Getting your reps in of each task and each habit that makes it that like no brainer, non-negotiable, like secondhand thing, right? So often, I have to say to people, like, the small simple things, just because they're small and simple doesn't mean that they're already a habit for you. You have to build a habit from scratch, just like you would with anything, right?
Yeah, totally. And I think it's for me to add, and this goes with all habits, is like making it sequential and something that already exists in your life.
Yeah.
So if you have a solidified habit, in the morning you go for a morning walk and then you walk right to, your area of your house that you work out. Like anchoring in simple things like that helped me build a lot of consistency. I went from working with you on a one-on-one basis to doing more your other program that you're going to talk about in a second here. And what helped me to achieve the consistency was, after I have my morning routine that is already existed, non-negotiable for me, doing it immediately after that, and like adding that and piggybacking onto that habit has allowed me to build a consistency that I never had on my own before, without having that appointment with someone else. So
For sure. And there's actually been tons of studies that show that habit stacking, which is essentially what you were alluding to, is a very successful way to implement new habits, right? Because, like you said, if you have something that's already a ritual for you and you don't have to think twice about it, and you pair something with that, that's now going to be that much easier for you to complete, instead of you having to be like, oh, what was I supposed to do at what time again? Right. And then another way to make it really stick is to have to-do list, right? Like mentally, or sorry, physically checking it off every day, whether it's on an app, on your phone, or in a journal. But physically going and crossing something off your list makes you feel good, gives you that sense of accomplishment, which breeds the motivation, right? Because, I'm sure you've felt this, is, you have one week where you work out and you feel really good. You want to create that feeling again. You want to continue to feel that way, right? Those endorphins that are being released in your brain. So you're like, okay, like I did so well this week. I don't want to let myself down next week. I don't want to let myself down the next week. And that's what creates the motivation. So it's like consistency creates motivation. Motivation doesn't create consistency, if that makes sense.
love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Rewind, listen to that again, because that was really, really important, and a huge takeaway. So do you want to talk a little bit about how the listeners can work with you with
Yeah,
your
for sure.
Rise and Thrive coaching platform?
Yeah, of course. So I have two main ways that clients can work with me. If anybody is interested in checking them out, I'll get Cassandra to post the links. But the first one is for people who are really getting started with their journey. They really want to build on their foundational basics, right? They really want to get that strong foundation, is through my Rise and Thrive membership. So this is an amazing offer packed with value. You get every single month a brand new workout challenge of the month, with both home and gym-based workouts, depending on what your situation is there. You get monthly recipes. We get a new monthly recipe pack every month, packed with new recipes that are featured of what kind of the theme of the month is, right? So like this past month, we had some fun kind of like pumpkin fall recipes. Moving into December, we have some holiday ones. When you guys hear this in January, right? Probably have some new ones that are more New Year theme and like getting you started on the right foot of the new year. You have a ton of nutritional just guidance, and kind of like almost like a mini lesson on how to set the foundations with your eating from the ground up. Like if you have no idea about healthy eating, this will teach you on how to really build those foundations. There's an educational library with, like, Cassandra and I were talking about this earlier, like literally hours of education, really explaining the ins and outs and the things that you really need to know to be successful with your journey long term, right? Oftentimes we buy a fitness program online, or you sign up with a coach and you do really great in that container, but then it ends and you're kind of like, okay, what now? Because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing to set this up for success for myself, right? So this really gives you that foundational knowledge of you knowing how to pivot things, how to alter things, knowing the ins and outs of the whys behind these tasks and these protocols that have been set for you, so that you can continue to do that on your own, right? Because nobody wants to have to rely on somebody else forever. And then it also includes monthly coaching calls where you get to jump on, do a little bit of a one-on-one check-in on the group call with me. We do mini trainings, stuff like that, and also a guest speaking call. So there's tons of stuff in this membership every month. New resources are being added, new worksheets, all the goods. So this is definitely the best way to kind of get started and get your feet wet and get the ball rolling with your fitness journey. If you're looking for a little bit more of a custom, in-depth, supportive situation, and you really want something that's created specifically for you, I do offer one-to-one coaching as well. And this is a program where everything is kind of built from the ground up for you. So we look at what your lifestyle looks like now, where you want to go, and then I build you a program to get you there. And then you get those custom check-ins with me, one-on-one, and all of that in-depth support, super close proximity throughout the duration of the program. So this is definitely like a higher level, more intensive type of offer.
Yes, yes, definitely check them out. They're so high value, so high vibe. What I love about your Rise and Thrive membership. Well, I've done both, but what I love about the Rise
Yes.
and Thrive membership is you learn the fundamentals and the education base for
Yes.
training, for nutrition, for macro counting. Like it's a one-stop shop for that practicality. And then for the workouts, they change every month. They're amazing. And she gives you tutorials. So if you've never worked out before in your life, you have those videos to show you how to do everything. And the accountability piece and the check-in and the community is just so high value, like I've never seen before on a membership. So definitely we're going to leave all the links in the description so you can connect with her. And where else can they learn more about you and connect with you on socials maybe?
Yeah, for sure. So I usually hang out the most on Instagram and TikTok. So I will, get those links over to Cassandra for her to link in the show bio. But I would say primarily on Instagram, come say hi, send me a DM. If you have any questions, just want to get some answers, right? Maybe you're a little bit confused on where to start, what you should do. I love to chat with new followers and people that are interested in just health and well-being and fitness. So my door is always open to come chat with me if you guys want to have that chat. And also TikTok. I mean, obviously, TikTok's a little bit more just fun, playful tips and tricks and stuff like that. So I have tons of content on there as well for you guys to check out.
Amazing. We're going to leave all the links to everything, the way you can work with her, all the socials in the show notes or on the YouTube description. So definitely check that out. Sam, it's always a blast connecting with you, learning from you. You're in amazing hands if you want to work out with Sam. So definitely check out everything. And thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun chatting and hope you guys all have an amazing time on your health and wellness journey and that you learned some things here today. And hope to see you guys all in my DMs.
Yes. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I'll upload a new video on Thursday. See you in the next one. Bye.